Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Viewers, comments and questions. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
Hope you're all awesome.
Indeed.
Welcome to 2026.
Well, we know you're awesome. We just hope you're well.
Yeah.
Hello, Rosie. What do you want? You want to come up? Rosie's here to greet you as well. Right, Rosie, what do we say?
Hello, welcome to That Sausage Show. Rosie here.
All right, bacon.
You do, don't you? Oh, a little girl. I know. I haven't seen you much today, have I? Haven't seen you much today. Yeah, welcome. Happy Monday.
I have to learn a Happy Monday song just so that I've got something else to add.
List your favourite Happy Monday songs. Was Groovy Train a Happy Monday song? Or have I got the wrong band?
All I know is Bez.
Yeah. Bez in his London taxi, innit, Rosie? Bez in his London taxi. Who would have a spaniel, eh? Ooh. You're going to have to get down, though, or you're going to have to go and sit on Uncle Dan's lap, because I've got to get to my computer. I know. Thank you, Rosie. Right, BV, thank you so much for helping us out, being in the comments and managing all of that. We massively appreciate it. And thanks to everyone for joining us. What is it? The 12th of January. Nearly Christmas. In galactic terms.
Yeah, every day's
Actually,
Christmas.
it probably is Christmas in galactic terms, to be fair. Matt Swanson is on. He says, greeting from Massachusetts. Well, hello to Massachusetts. Zuta Lurs is on. Hello to all fellow TPSers. Yeah, we echo that sentiment. Hello to everyone. Todd Roy is on. Hey, Todd. And Simon VRDJ is on. Moon. Off number 9. James Lister. Brent Adams. Some lovely friends. Scent of a wheelchair pillow. T
Always gets a
Stone.
chuckle.
T Stone 777 and John W 777. 777 is a theme, it would seem. Is it
Bartley
that?
BBB.
Is that an Ibanez Gem thing?
777. Yeah.
Uh,
Did you have a gem? Or was it just me?
I had the RG550.
You had the RG550.
As I
Yes,
explained
okay.
at length in Friday's video.
Yes. I didn't know if you'd at
No, I
any
didn't.
point had a gem as well.
I did want a gem. Quick tangent about the gem. Neville had the first floral one in the UK.
Wicked.
And he took it to his Marty Wild gig that night. And Marty said, no.
Oh, fantastic. I used to have a HM Strat, bright pink, and everyone in the band hated it. And I said, right, well, when the gem had come out, I was a massive Steve-Vai fan. I went, right, and I ordered the black one. I went to pick it up and said, oh, sorry, they didn't have any black ones, but you can have this one. And it was the bright yellow one.
Desert yellow.
Desert yellow. So
I always love I mean, despite what I said in Friday's video, I really coveted that guitar.
yeah, my band were not happy with me.
I'm going to turn the super chats off. We have quite a lot, so I'll turn those off. Todd Weiss, you were the last in at this point, so we will answer all the super chats. To this point, I have turned them off. We have got lots and lots and lots. Thank you so much for your super chats.
Yep.
It's one of the ways in which it just helps us keep the lights on and keep doing interesting things. So thank you very much.
Yep. Bruce Electro, hi Marcus. He says, evening chaps, can we just have a moment for Bob Weir? Yes, Bob Weir, we lost him last week, for the Grateful Dead. But it was interesting. He was really active, like right up to the end. Wonderful guitar player, and lots of people posting tributes to Bob. So yeah, thank you for everything, Bob. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get into the. Oh, so Rosie's like, what do I do now? Okay is one of her release words, and so when you say okay, she's like, what? You haven't told me to do anything. Actually, it is her release word. Good. Okay. Scott Curry is on. Thomas Eichinger, James Blessed, James Richardson, TTM Fender, Todd Roy.
Hey, Todd.
Nice to hear from such lovely friends, as always. Apologies in advance to those who I've missed. Airfire Ed, hello mate. And everyone else who's joined us. Okay, let's get into the super chats then. First in this week is Morley Robertson. Hey Morley.
Hey, Molly.
Always good to hear from you. He says, D&M, epic tracks on Friday's show.
Thank you so much, kind sir.
Keep the challenges coming, no question this week. Please take them from the chat, and thanks for all you do.
So welcome.
Thank you, Morley. Thanks for being here. All right then, let's go for the chat then and see what we can discover. All I'm looking for is a question mark.
Question mark. His name is Mark. He's a lovely guy. He's up in the sky. He's looking for a question.
No, there's no questions here.
No.
They're all super chais. I'm sure I saw one.
It's so funny. It's just all the conversations between each other. It's brilliant. It's really entertaining.
Okay, we'll come back. We will take a question or two from the chat as we go along. What, just come in?
Yeah. Thoughts on putting a 10-inch in a champ?
Well, aside from the conviction and Memory Man 335. Thoughts on putting a 10-inch speaker and a Fender in a Fender Champ? What? So a Champ normally has what, an 8-inch speaker?
Ah, yes. Ah, fantastic. I believe so.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, really.
Boy, oh boy.
We think it might have an 8-inch speaker. So a Fender Champ, 6 watts, weren't they? 5 watts, 6 watts, something like that. Little thing. Referenced so beautifully by Frank Zappa in Joe's Garage.
Right.
Cheesy little amp, it was a Fender Champ or something like that. But you loved and used loads, recorded loads, 8-inch speaker. What do we think about putting a 10 in there? Never done it.
So one thing that you would need, obviously, is I'm assuming you need a bigger cab.
Well, it might fit in there. From what I can see there, it looks like it might fit.
You need a different baffle then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know in the comments. And I suppose an extension of that is, what about putting a 12-inch in a Princeton? And I suppose it's a lot of the same discussion, i.e. the bigger the speaker, generally speaking, the more extended the bass frequencies.
And whether the cabinet can deal with those frequencies.
Yeah. So we've never done it. Would be interesting to hear from anyone who has.
Yep. Dustin Thiessen says, just get a Princeton. And I kind of agree with Dustin. I mean, if you've got a baffle, here's what you do. Put a 10-inch speaker in a cab, just whip up an extension lead, an extension speaker lead, and just plug it in and see how it sounds and see if you like it. It will sound vastly different once it's in the cab, but that will at least give you a chance to try it before you commit.
What's the matter with you,
She's all
Rosie?
about daddy today.
What is the matter with you? What do you think I'm going to give you? Rosie has been on a walk today, but not with me. And so she's probably like, what? It's not what you signed up for, is it? Where's Mummy, Rosie? Come on, off you go. Okay. Johnny T.
Johnny T.
Hello, Johnny. Johnny says, I would love a Dave Gregory 2026 Q&A and a 12-string chat. A catch up with Dave. Well, it's always good to catch up with Dave.
Always wonderful to catch up with Dave.
Rosie, do you need a wee-wee?
Yes. Yeah, so let's do it. I'll give Dave a call. Get him down. He's such a great guy. He's so knowledgeable. Such a masterful guitar player. Played with him for many years in Tin Spirits and yeah, just one of my favourite people ever.
I love his vast knowledge of vintage guitars.
Oh, well, I love his
And
vast collection of vintage guitars.
And his knowledge of music is astounding.
But he's a musician, as in, of course, he's a guitar player, but he writes charts and scores, and he's like fully proper music guy.
Yeah.
He's so a lot of people,
musicologist, I would say.
yeah, a lot of Lyle Workman, who is a wonderful guitar player, LA session guy, does movie soundtracks and stuff. Was playing for Carrie Underwood, I believe, recently on tour with her, or was it Carrie Underwood? I think it was. Anyway, but he's done work with Sting, and he's like amazing. Like he's got an album called Harmonic Crusader, which is one of my favorite instrumental albums of all time. Astonishing. And he would go to Dave to get some arrangements done and orchestration done.
Oh, really?
And Dave did a lot of that in XTC. When you hear all the amazing strings and that,
Wow.
that's Dave. He's properly amazing with that stuff.
Would be great to get into that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Andrew R. Hello, Andrew. Andrew R. says, hello, DNM. Following with things you will hate, thoughts on using an HX Stomp to make a TPS wet dry rig. Still use real amps and drives, analog modulation in the effects loop. The HX is your splitter for delays and reverbs. Okay, so first off, the HX would have to hit both amps.
Yep.
Because of the latency involved in it. And that's what we heard when we had Chris Buck in and when we had Jack Griffiths in. And there was some fairly complex workarounds making sure that the HX hit both amps.
Mm-hmm.
And in so doing, what you then get is digital dry path, which sucks in almost every respect.
I don't like it.
Yeah, if you just listen to it back to back, you'll hear. We tried it recently with a specific pedal, and I mean, I don't know. Let's define our parenthesis here.
Oh, I love the use of the word parenthesis there, Michael.
When you're used to being sat in this room day in, day out, listening to boutique amps, vintage guitars, amazing pedals, high-end recording gear or high-ish end recording gear, mid-level recording gear, you start to really notice these differences. And when you hear them back to back in an A-B comparison, it's like, why would anyone ever choose that?
Mm-hmm.
Once you step into the real world of making songs and music and playing out, and you're not hearing a direct comparison A-B, and there's no means of comparison, that the difference becomes borderline negligible.
Mm.
Until you consider the cumulative effect of a little bit of shit everywhere in the signal chain. And then what you end up with is
That's the name of my new album.
An unhappy guitar sound. So, yes, so many people are desperate for us to do it. It would be hard to come at it.
We'd have to find a reason to do it.
Well, the reason to do it is to... What the reason can't be is to go, look how bad this really does sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it doesn't.
No.
In the real world, to normal people, most of the time, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I think we have to remember that we exist in this little weird bubble of micro critical listening to everything all the time.
There's no win in that situation for us.
Not for us, there isn't.
No.
Because when you do it, what you get is 2,000 comments going, you were using it wrong.
Mm.
It's like, we've been around this stuff for 25 years now. More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you know, I'm trying to let it go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm trying to let it go, like picking up the gem and playing it with abandon and getting some really decent tones out of it. It's like, you know, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But part of it does matter. What do you think? HX in a wet dry?
Let it go. Let it go. In the door. Digital. Welcome to a poo. Yeah, it's just not a thing. That will one day there'll be a reason we go, okay. It'll be a solution for a question that we've got, or be an answer for a question that we've got. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Problem is, we just filmed today, right? With just a bunch of really great solid pedals going into these two amplifiers. It's like, that's it. Mick had this amazing sort of old school Black Crowes tone going. And it was just like, when you get the elements together and you get it all working right, literally plugged it in, turned it up, and it was there. There's no messing. There's no going, it just needs a little bit more 4 dB at 2K, you know. It's like, and music was made and it was vibey, and that's all I really care about.
Yeah. And if the interesting thing is, isn't it, if you were given one of those devices, you know, a DBoss, you'd use it and you'd sound good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But the fact is, I don't know. I kind of want to get one just for the halibut and use it. And then just get over it, you know?
Yeah, I think...
I don't want to waste any gigs because I don't have many gigs left as long as I live.
Exactly what I was going to say. For me, I'm 54 now, and the amount of gigs that I'm going to do are numbered. It's not like when I was playing 5 nights a week, I could try stuff out. You know, I was like, if it didn't work, I'd sort it out tomorrow night. Now, I'm aware, acutely aware, that every gig, and I'd love playing out so much.
54 in how many months?
In September. So 9 months.
54 and 9 months.
Come on,
okay.
you. Come on.
Times
You coming up? Well, I'm 54 and
12
4 months now. So I'm 5 months.
equals
Come on,
plus
come on. There we go. Good girl.
equals
Good girl. You've been outside. You got all mud on my
52.
jeans. Do you? Do you? Yeah.
54 equals plus how many months you say?
Well, in 9 months, September,
So
the 9th month.
So you've got
8 months
so
to
that's
go.
another 12. 2916 plus 12 equals minus 4,000.
The circumference.
You've got 1,072 weeks left to live,
Brilliant.
roughly.
Okay.
I've
Great.
got a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So how many of those weeks do you want to...
It's the right question to ask. Yeah.
He's going to be going, 1,000 weeks, really? Is that right?
It's all yeah. Thank you, Rosie. I needed that.
Rosie's
that.
like, yeah, you got 1,000 weeks. I've probably got a few hundred. Oh, bless you, Rosie. Bless you. I can't think about that day.
No.
Think about that day.
No.
Anyway,
Happy to think about my day.
it was
not your day.
It was a good. It was a good tangent. We just got to get over it.
Love you,
We got to get over it.
lady.
Yeah. Oh god. Swizz 871. Swizz 871. I love. Do you know? I'm just going to say for the umpteenth time how much I love Tom Bukovac.
Yep.
I was doing a lot of boring stuff over the weekend and at the end of last week to do with data and boring bullshit. And while I was doing that, I had Bukovac on and watched all the homeschoolings I haven't caught up with.
Right.
I just love him.
Yeah.
I
That
love
is
him.
wonderful.
I love his directness. I love how forthright he is about things. I love the way he's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
And of course, when you've done what he's done,
Yeah.
you can say that stuff.
Coming from a place of authority.
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely.
Significant authority.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. But oh man, I mean, one of the things, just as a slight tangent, he's bought a 63 335 block neck. He sold his burst and his gold top
Really.
a while back now to help pay his mortgage off, which is pragmatic, isn't it?
Mm.
And bought a 63 block neck 335, and the thing that happens on old Gibsons quite regularly is the bridge flattens out because they, under the pressure, they flatten out, and
Yep.
what you need on it is some radius. So he'd been to get a new bridge, and in explaining all of that, he's like, okay, people, I know you people like your nylon saddles, but just put steel saddles on.
Right.
They sound better. There's no instance in which a steel saddle doesn't sound better than a nylon saddle. And he's just like delivers it hard pan. And I'm like, I know, I agree. I do agree with you, Tom, sir. Yes, I do. Please let me be your friend. And
boy.
I like it.
Yeah, he's
I like
wonderful.
Anyway, Swizz 871. We haven't been on drugs today, by the way. It was just good to get playing
It was
loud
so
again.
lovely.
Legends, I can't recall you having any audio kitchen pedals on your show, but would love to see some explored over the new year.
Yeah, we've had big trees on. Love the big trees. Fabulous thing. And we've had this squirrel. What's it called? The Valve Fuzz.
Flying squirrel?
The flying squirrel.
Red
We've had
squirrel?
that on. Flying squirrel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Steve is a
Genius.
serious
Yep.
guy.
Yep.
A serious guy. The lengths that he goes to. Is he on his own or does he have people?
Last time I was there, I think it was on his own. His dad helped. I think I had something to do with it, but most of the time it was on his own. But I haven't seen Steve for a while, and we're due a catch up because because we've got, where is it, the
What's the matter?
big chopper amp,
What's the matter?
and need to get that. Need to have a look at that. But yeah, he's just what a guy. What a guy.
Yeah. So yes, I mean maybe I don't know if there's any other stuff we can get on.
Yeah, we should get him on the show.
Yeah.
Bring some stuff
Actually,
in.
let's do that.
Yeah, there we
Dan,
go. Steve.
One of the things that Dan and I resolved to do more of in the coming year is to just do more varied stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe go and see a few more people. I mean, we could go and see them, couldn't we? That would be the easiest way to do it. And just stretch our boundaries a little bit
Yeah.
to, just make sure everyone's getting a good variety of interesting things. Rosie, you've got to use your words. What is wrong with you? What are you trying to tell me?
Sausages, Daddy, sausages.
Don't say that.
Oh no, sorry, Rosie.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. The vocabulary is mad.
Really?
It is absolutely mad what she understands. Isn't it, Rosie? Yeah, I know. But you're going to have to get down again because I've got to do the reading. Reading the questions. I know. Come on then, off you go. Good girl. Daniel Blum.
Hello,
Daniel. Daniel Blum. Via Modelers, I really love the sound of JTM 45 next to a DR 504. So a JTM 45 Marshall next to a DR 504 50 watt custom high watt. I want to get that sound out of amps. The JTM is easy enough, but what would you two suggest for the high watt if you're on a budget? What a great question.
It's really tricky. Okay. I mean, I don't know what your budget is. High watt. The high watt amps for me are kind of like Marshall amplifiers. Like no matter what high watt you get, there's something intrinsically high watt that's there. It's like you can get a Marshall like tiny valve state, or there's something, it's got a Marshall stamp on it. There's something about that sound that is intrinsically Marshall. Now, high watt did a thing called a Studio, I want to call it a Studio 2510 or 2550 that you can pick up for decent money. Incredible sounding amplifier, very high watt. It's got all the headroom, but it was a lower wattage amp. And I saw when I was booking bands, for the walkabouts, with loads of players out there using them, and they sounded magic.
Right.
Really great. Combo single 1x12.
Yeah.
Great amplifier. I would see what you can find in the high watt world, because as we can attest with our high watt, nothing sounds like them. They stand alone for that thing that they do. Beautiful, massive cleans. everything holds together so incredibly well.
But direct as well.
Yep.
Quick.
Yep.
I appreciate it's there, and that is giving me a bit of motivated cognition. But some of the cleaner orange amps do that thing.
Yeah.
They definitely do that sort of very present, fairly quick dynamics, just fat, full, big, right at your sound.
Matte amp as well, of course.
Absolutely, but kind of hard to get. And
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. But
I think
if you found one,
and certainly not on a budget.
no. Actually, some of the orange amps are great value, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it can
Yeah.
be. Yeah. So what are we looking for then? We're looking for a fairly, I mean, to say full frequency in terms of guitar is a bit of a misnomer anyway, but something that's not too coloured, something that isn't mid-scoopy like a Fender, it's not mid-push like a Dumble, it's not super fizzy like a cranked Marshall.
Yeah.
It's just thick, fat, full right across the board.
Yep.
And has that kind of weight.
Yeah.
And
It's weight, but there's no flub there.
Yeah.
It's so direct. Yeah. Matheson Sanchez says Reeves high tone. Yeah, they are crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Amazing amplifiers. So we're talking about being on a budget.
certainly anything that's high watt, directly high watt derived. I mean, you can get high watt do some great 20 and 40 watt amps.
Yeah.
Really, really great.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, they're not, we're never going to call them cheap, but deals, I've seen them marked down at retailers. Isn't Knowles a 40 watt one? Or 50 maybe his.
Yeah, that one.
The ones they were using on the Oasis tour this year
Yeah.
was not his big 2x12 vertical one that he was using. It was a different one, a smaller one. So, go for the high watt thing, but just not a full on 50 watt head or 100 watt head. Go for one of the 20s or 40s.
Yeah, and they're fabulous.
No doubt there'll be some suggestions coming through in the comments, so thank you, Daniel. Jason Hattrick, how are you, Jason? He says, I was lucky enough to nab a lesson with Ariel Posen.
Oh, brilliant.
And he corrected me that his signature pedal is a preamp, not an overdrive. For the life of me, I've never understood the functional difference. Oh, we're going to respectfully disagree.
Look. Ariel, let's have a word. So, the reason they call it a preamp is because the design is based around a studio preamp from the golden age of recording. And what they used to do is put those strips into overdrive, they'd push them, and they'd naturally distort, and the distortion was so full of harmonics. And the one thing about those, what's the non-Ariel Posen version?
Broadcast.
The broadcast. And they just have all that magic there. Now, we define a preamp as something that has enough headroom that you can drive a power amp with it. I know a couple of people say anything that is pre the amplifier is a preamp. No. It's got to have enough signal out to drive a phase inverter and to give it the love that the power amp requires to sound good.
This is the second one, the AP2, and there's a previous version as well. It is so good.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
wonderful.
so good.
Wonderful. But it's still a distortion device. It creates overdrive in a pedal, so it's an overdrive pedal.
And it works fantastic into the front of a guitar amp.
Exactly.
And a lot of preamps are quite compromised in that environment.
Because the output of the preamp is so high that it just closes down the input of a valve amp. This is one thing that we go on about the Simon Jarrett's design from Kingsley. They are preamps, but the way he designs them, there's a switch on them so you can go directly into the front of an amplifier, and it's amazing. But it's still, it's designed around that. What was the channel strip that it was? It's like a.
I don't know if it was I don't think it was a Neve
Neve?
one, was it? Was it a I don't know what it
API
was.
something?
The old Red or something, was it
Yeah.
maybe? Or an old EMI one or something. I don't know. Classic recording studio channel strip.
Yeah, really fabulous sounding
What
thing.
is up with you, Rosie? Because this is unusual behaviour. Are you in pain? I don't think you're in pain because you wouldn't be leaping up and down, would you?
Resident Lunatic says the original broadcast dual hasn't left my board since I got it.
They're
ages
such
ago.
great things.
They're wonderful.
Right.
They're made so
You have to
beautifully.
go and lie down, Rosie.
Yeah.
Go and lie down. What it is, Sheila got to sniff or something outside,
Right.
and she's like, "We need to go and
Oh, yes, Daddy, we need time to explore.
we need to deal with that.
Okay.
Whatever it is."
Zoodaloo says Rosie definitely has something to say today.
Yeah.
Rosie, you beautiful girl. You've got such intention. Bless
Far
her.
too intelligent, aren't you?
Bless
What
her.
we'll do is we'll get down onto a question in a minute. I'll go and see if I can figure out what's going on with the dog, and then
Sean Eric Brooks says Rosie wants a high watt. Yeah, she does. She's a very intelligent pup.
Yeah, well done. You can just lean into it.
Ziad ZD says, "Happy New Year, guys. Curious what you think about ordering a made-to-order Fender Custom Shop Strat. I haven't found my ideal specs in store, but I'm concerned about buying one I can't try first."
Yep,
You've just said it all.
exactly.
I'd be interested to know what those specs are. You know, from not bitter, but from expensive personal experience, I can tell you that some of the things that we hold on to sometimes end up not really mattering that
Yeah,
much. Like,
yeah.
well, whatever. But
Also, is there a reason they haven't made it? You know,
yeah,
it's the whole thing about your question, though, and you've answered it. It's, you know, if you were spending a couple of £100, then that's a different thing. But it's a major purchase, no matter who you are. It's a major purchase. And not being able to try it out, it's tricky. The only thing I would say is, I've never played a Fender Custom Shop that I didn't think was a great guitar. They're pretty consistent. They're not all, you know, absolutely mind-blowing, but they're all very solid, very, very good guitars. If they haven't made what you're asking for before and it'd be a completely custom thing, it's just, you have to work out whether you are willing to take that gamble. You know, so I remember, and I had a massive conversation with Dan Bull about this from 65 Amps. Just what a beautiful guy. And I had this thing in my head about the original AC30 being an EL34 cathode bias amplifier. And
yes,
I was like, I couldn't leave it alone. And I was saying, Dan, did you ever hear one of these? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I made one of the early designs. I made one. Said, sounded garbage. I thought, oh. And he's like, there are designs where they work well, but he said, you can have these ideas. And one idea that I had was being able to mix between the EL34s and the EL84s. He's gone, and he's done this stuff before. He goes, at the end of the day, it just didn't sound good.
yeah, okay, bros, yeah.
You know, and it's just one of those things you've got to keep in mind that, yeah, all the elements may not come together to create the guitar that you think it's going to create,
Yeah.
which is why I'll never buy a guitar unless I play it first.
Yeah, I would go on a quest and just play as many guitars as you can.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just and as with everything in life, if you're looking for it, you won't find it. So you just need to make it your quest to play as many guitars as you can in a sort of knowledge gaining.
Yep.
And again, if you even load it down with that much expectation, you won't learn anything. So it's just play loads and loads of guitars. And if you can do that with as free a mind as possible, you'll start to really understand the things that you like, which I don't know how helpful that is either, because then, I keep harking back to Friday's show. I picked this up. I found plenty to like about it.
Yeah.
I found plenty to like about it.
I have been thinking about some sort of super strat. And yeah,
So,
very
yeah,
cool. Very cool.
It does. It's great. It was a good, and we say this just to pass on a bit of recent experience. It's a good reminder that the things that you're tied to in your head,
That's true.
just sometimes kick them out every now and again.
Yep.
If you can,
That's a great shout.
if you can. It's funny. So many people writing. So good to see you guys out of your comfort zones. It's so good when you get out of your comfort zone. I'm replying. Yeah. Tell you what. Sell your favorite guitar. Buy something you really don't like and get out of your comfort zone, mate. It's like we play this stuff because we like it. And
Yeah.
again, I said to a couple of people, if you think being sat here, red light fever, having to play solo guitar with pedals you don't really know is any sort of comfort zone at all, you're misunderstanding, how this works. The comfort zone for me and Dan is being in bands, making music, and having the time to do both of those things. This, playing blues licks on a Strat on that pedal show, I love it. It's such a massive privilege to be able to do it. But is it comfortable? No. It's butt clenching, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Red light fever, constant red light fever. Imagine it. Anyway, I digress. Play loads of guitars, Ziad. Johnny T says, what non-Fender custom shop or vintage Strats take your fancy? Mick, Johnny T. So, well, as a point of pedantry, they're not Strats if they're not Fender. But S-shaped objects, some of them look really nice, don't they?
Some of them do look nice.
Um,
I've been looking at a bunch of old Steve Lukather videos and the Valley Arts. Those Valley Arts guitars.
Blade, did you play Blade?
Blade.
For a while?
Oh man, they are sensational.
Yeah. What else did we like? I must
Tom
admit,
Anderson.
Yeah, Tom Anderson's. Listening to a lot of Dan Huff recently and Wayne Krantz, both of whom I just adore as guitar players. Both play Tyler guitars.
Yeah, right.
And Tyler was a thing there for a minute. And there's something that connects some of Dan's cleaner tones and Wayne Krantz's cleaner tones that have got that very sibilant, high-endy, buffery thing that I normally despise.
Right.
But I'm like, that's a cool sound.
Yeah.
Exotic for the relic-y things look really nice.
Yeah.
Sir, of course you can't go past Sir, bloody hell. I mean, for me, there's still a barrier. There's still a... I'm so emotionally connected. Back to what we were saying about the thing in your head, sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. I'm so emotionally connected to Fender for so many reasons that not playing a Fender is sort of unconscionable until, I meet Dean Cutler, who comes on an experience day. Dean's a lovely guy, makes some great guitars. We played him. I was like, I love this guitar. And because of my connection with Dean and I like him and the feel of the guitars, it's like, yeah, I'd totally play one of those guitars. So we got halfway down building one and I just need to chase it up. So, yeah, it's about the specific instrument and the relationship, I think, for me.
Yeah, there's a story of Dan Huff.
You're always changing. You're always changing.
Yeah, that story of Dan Huff in the 80s going to LA and getting James Tyler to modify his vintage Strat to, mega Strat specs. And, James has been doing that forever. I know people that... I've played the Tyler guitars. I think they are astonishing. I struggle with the headstock.
Yeah.
My
favourite of all the non-Fender headstocks is the Mac Mull one. And the Mac Mull guitar is fantastic as well.
Amazing.
It's just brutalistic.
Yeah. But the thing with the Mac Mull is it's too close to a Strat.
Right.
It's like perfectly spec'd vintage Strat. And it's incredible. For me, what I'm after is the 80s beefed up green meanie, that thing, the Pensa Sir,
cool.
They were just...
That was a while ago.
Yeah, but remember seeing Matey Boy, Dire Straits
Mark
Martin
Knopfler.
Offler with his Pensacer. And when Dire Straits came out to Australia in the 80s, and he was playing one of those, just so beautiful. A lot of, that was a big thing back then. I'd be really interested to try an old Charvel.
Yeah, some of them were really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you get into that territory with Jackson and stuff. It's like, and then that goes down a different road.
Yeah.
By
slightly contentious underline to the whole thing, what are Mark Knopfler's best guitar sounds ever?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Right? What are Dan Huff's best guitar sounds?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. I you know what it is, though? Yeah, of course. But I think with that stuff, it's a mental game where you think...
It's pretty mental.
It is pretty mental, but getting into that headspace where you think, well, this guitar... And we've all, obviously Nick and I have our share of guitars, but that thing where, if I'm thinking about some sort of super strat, and the idea that that's going to give me something more than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're into that head game of and then that's what gas is.
Yeah,
We're
that's
just
gas.
in that thing.
Broken Oars podcast says Francis Dunnery is touring in February. Any chance of getting him in for a chat? I would love that.
That would be amazing.
Francis Dunnery, Frank Dunnery from It Bites from all those years ago. I don't know what he's been doing in between, but that would be really amazing. Really amazing. And CompuCorder64 says, why doesn't PRS do an HSS Superstrat, given the Silver Sky SE was such a smash hit? I got no idea, CompuCorder. Why didn't they do one? Crazy, isn't it, really?
Well,
why didn't they do one?
That is such a killer thing to do for that guitar. Really awesome.
It's become a really good guitar, actually.
Yeah.
Got to sort this trem out. It's like the arm and
Was
the
that
block.
an SE?
Yeah. The arm and the block is too weak. Anyway, for those of you who didn't see, I modded it. Hang on.
Oh, hang on.
I modded it to include...
Did you buy the scratch plate?
Yeah.
Right.
Very nice guy in America. I bought it off, I want to say reverb.com. And bless him, because it was that pedal show and he knew who we were, he put another one in as well of different colour. But it's great, isn't it?
It's fabulous.
A little bit of chisel work. I set the trem up quite hard because anyway, whatever. So they should do one, I agree. Groovy. Hi DNM from Dave Sandman.
Yeah. See your prayers.
Dave Sandman says, hi DNM, it's more of a gig rig related question, but I don't see a lot of content around the pedal boards gig rig released last year. Why not? They're amazing and I'll get one in the future. Glove.
Oh, thank you, mate. We haven't been able to keep them in stock. We have had...
We're selling too many. Don't do any marketing.
Well, it's not that. It's not that at all. We've got a back... I've got a back, what do you call it, a waiting list for them.
Yeah.
And we've had some... The guy that was making them he's not going to be making them in the future, and we're moving to new manufacturing, and I just want to get all that sorted. But I've got, look, they've been fabulous, and there'll be a lot more happening on that front, gig rig wise, this year. I've actually got a meeting about it on Thursday with our new guy that's taking over the production of those, and who's actually was already doing most of it, and he's just coming on board doing it all now. And I've got a bunch of other designs in my head that I want to work on as well. But I tell you what, doing the pedalboard thing has been a trip, because, I've been designing stuff with metalwork for 20 years, and, G3 is not a tiny thing, so I'm not talking about just little boxes, and we did the prototyping process. It took years to get it right, but you run into production things. It's like things I'd never considered.
You've got bigger stones than me, mate.
Yeah, but it's been
into all that.
Yeah. But anyway, it's really great, and thank you very much. Yeah, we're delighted with them, and there'll be more information coming on those soon.
Lots and lots of people in the chat, including Bill Green, 3629, Brent Adams, AZ Funk, pointing out that the PRS Fiore, which I think is the Lettieri one, is it? SE is an HSS format. They do other HSS guitars and HSH and even maybe HHH in the SE. There's lots and lots of SEs. I think the question was specifically about the Silver Sky. But yeah, they do. There's plenty of SE guitars available, and very good they are too. Simon V, RDJ.
Hey, mate.
How are you, Simon? He says, D&M, last Friday's episode with the music you both made was 11 out of 10.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, bud. Both tracks were fab. Mixed track was even more wow with a gem drum. Please take one from the chat. Oh, and the Big Muff 2 arrived today. Enjoy.
That was inspired. That was brilliant.
It is literally the thing I remember about the RG550 the most was the insane handling noise.
Awesome.
I did coincide my RG550 purchase with the JCM 800 and 412. So I hadn't really gigged a 412 much before that. So I turn up with the 550, JCM 800 and a 412. It's like, this is new.
Love it.
Okay. A question from the chat from Josh Lawless. Hello, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Lawless by name. D&M help. I have the following: a full tone vibe, Benson Germanium, pre, Thorpe Fallout, Cloud, 4 different overdrives, Strymon Deco, Keeley Halo, and a Cloudburst. And I'm getting tone suck. Yes, you are. Do I need a buffer? If so, where?
Yes.
At the end.
Yeah, at the very least, at the end. Okay, so it depends on. Just because somebody says it's true bypass doesn't necessarily mean there's true bypass and there's really good true bypass. But if you, even with really good true bypass pedals, when you chain them together, that's going to happen. Because just the nature of going in and out of those circuits, you're going to get loading on the signal. The question, so here's how you work it out. If you turn on the pedal at the end of the signal chain, does that solve your problems? Because as soon as you turn the pedal on, it engages a buffer. Does that sound good? If it doesn't, then turn on the pedals further and further up the signal chain. The problem that you've got, because you don't mention the exact ODs that you have, it might be that you need a dedicated buffer earlier on in the chain. It's working out if your ODs are okay with a buffered signal. Most of the time, I prefer my ODs seeing the pickups, not seeing a locked down impedance from a buffer. And what do I mean by that? Once the buffer is engaged, the impedance is fixed. Again, it can be great and does solve a lot of problems. Like the board that I've done for Robin, he loves a buffer just after the wah pedal. He wants everything as bright and clean as possible. You know, he loves that. But I prefer to have the buffer after my gain stages. But most of the time, because I've always got a pedal on with my, like a clean pedal, like that the Hagerman that we were using today, right? That would be my clean sound.
In today's show, we filmed 5 pedals, just 5 pedals on a board, and we included the Hagerman, I think it is.
Hagerman,
I
yeah.
hope that's right, Jim. Sorry if it's not. We've been saying Hagerman all these years. Not to be confused with Larry Hagerman, who was J.R. Ewing. Hagman, I know. Anyway, Hagerman, he does a EF86 booster, which is a pentode EF86 like you get in Matchlie and Vox amps,
Yep.
as a sort of clean boost, and it's
Stunning.
fan freaking tastic.
So let's say that I've got that on as my clean sound early on in the signal chain. If I've always got an overdrive pedal on or that on or a compressor on, I don't need a buffer. But also because all of my stuff is in loops, and so so all I would say is try, if you've got an old Boss tuner, for example, just move it up in the chain, just in bypass state, because it'll just act as a buffer, and just see if that fixes your problem.
Yeah, one of my questions was going to be, as Dan alluded, are any of your other 4 overdrive pedals non-true bypass? Are there any Boss pedals in there? Because if there are, then adding another buffer is not going to help that much.
Yeah.
And of course, the conclusion that we're all tiptoeing around and not actually saying is what you really need is a true bypass loop switcher. So something like Dan's QMX series specifically Dan's QMX series, where the reason you get tone suck, for anyone who doesn't understand, and sorry for the recap, but it's interesting. Guitar, one cable to the pedal board of say 20 feet, loads and loads of switches, patch cables, pedal electronics, another cable of 20 feet back to your amp. You've got a huge amount of capacitance, or you've got a significant amount of capacitance, particularly if you use high capacitance cable. There's another thing, check your cables. If you're using really long high capacitance cable, they're going to be killing your guitar, especially single coils. What the buffer does is it essentially pushes that capacitance out of the way, right? Is that fair?
That's fair.
Way to put it. And the biggest discernible effect of capacitance over a long signal runs is a loss of high end, but actually it happens right across the frequency spectrum. It's just a weaker signal in general, but where you'll notice it most is high end. By using a true bypass loop switcher, you take out all of that stuff that's happening in true bypass pedals, because they're not in your signal chain, and it makes a significant difference, especially if you invest in some low capacitance cables. And it might be that by adding buffers front, middle or back, change the tone in ways you don't like. It might be that they change the tone in ways that you do like. A true bypass loop switcher will solve a lot of the problems for you, and you won't get any change in tone. One final thing to try, sorry if you said this earlier, set your Benson preamp up to as neutral a sound as you can possibly set it. So don't get it overdriving, don't get any EQ change, get it at the same level and literally just turn it on and off. That will tell you if you want a standalone buffer.
Yep, perfect.
Fair?
Yep, fair. Look, we've done shows on this. The last show we did was pretty comprehensive. So if you go into the content and just search for buffers and just check out the last show, that will give you a really good understanding of what's going on. And Gordon Rankin has said, I use my Boss TU3 after my fuzz to buffer after the fuzz. That one transistor buffer is the best sounding buffer. Plus they can drive transistor pedals like my special cranker and broadcaster. Yeah, so the special cranker and broadcaster obviously don't mind being hit by a buffer, which is great. But the fuzz will be a different story. So what Gordon's doing is putting his tuner after the fuzz so that the fuzz still sees the inductance of the coil and all the stuff coming from the guitar. It has that relationship with the input impedance of those transistors. But then after that, the signal goes through a buffer, and then that drives the capacitance further down the chain. So you'll be, very good.
Josh is saying his Benson is actually a germanium fuzz. Okay, so you can't do what I was just suggesting.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you can if you turn your guitar down. Then you'll know. Some of the best ever clean sounds, fuzz face type cranked guitar turned down. Anyway, hopefully there's enough information in that answer
Yes.
to help you, Josh. And someone else is saying, when do I know I need a buffer? Honestly,
Come on.
just please watch the old shows.
Come on.
Final thing to say on it,
Come on.
which we did in the show.
Come on.
Get a patch cable,
Come
right?
on. Come on.
Play your guitar through all of your stuff.
Come on.
And with everything off, play it all through and listen, right?
Gal.
Then
Good gal.
unplug and plug your guitar into your amp using a short patch cable. That will tell you how much capacitance is going on in your
It's
home signal
amazing.
chain. It is
Yeah, it'll blow your
astonishing.
mind.
Now, speaking personally, I don't want that sound.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
can't stand it.
But there's
which
a
is why I
length.
don't like buffers.
But there's a length that is good, and there's a length that's too long.
I think that is what she said. So yeah, it's endlessly
Rock and roll, baby
fascinating.
girl.
It's endlessly fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosie, good girl, good girl.
He's so
See
good.
you, Uncle Dan.
Be so good.
Okay, let's move along.
Moving right along.
Non-aligned. Says, if you could get the answer to one question from any guitarist, living or dead, which guitar player and what question would you ask? It's a magic question, so you'll get a detailed answer.
Boy, oh boy. What were I?
What are the great tone mysteries of our time? I mean, there's stuff like, did Clapton use a
Oh yeah.
treble booster? And
Yeah.
I think the general consensus is no, he didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to know that. A lot of the Van Halen stuff has been debunked and demystified.
Yep. There are. Funnily enough, I got to meet Alan Holdsworth and had a beer with him in Sydney, and after seeing him play at the Harbourside Brasserie, I think it was, and he was just, what a beautiful guy, and just so happy to chat. Because I had questions about how he just got that sound, and his sound was reasonably consistent from rig to rig. I've got questions for Steve Lukather. I've got questions for David Gilmour, of course. I've got loads of questions for Pat Martino. It's a really interesting thing. Like with Pat, his tone changed so drastically, depending on, you could tell what the eras he's playing, because he went through loads of different guitars. But there's an attack thing that he had, which is just astonishing. It's like when I listened to Josh Smith play that telly, and there's a very specific attack that he has that I've never heard another guitar player, and it's a mixture of those really heavy strings, they're crazy heavy right hand, but they're so articulate. Yeah. I'm kind of, apart from Pat Martino and Eddie Van Halen, I've been lucky enough to get to ask a lot of my favourite guitar players silly questions. Now, it's really interesting though. They're all geeks as well, and they're more than happy to get into it. You know, give them a beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, mine would be a Hendrix. It would definitely be Hendrix. I'd want to know, like, I want to know how much he cared about tone and stuff, and whether he did or not, or whether he was just following his muse and making the music, whether he obsessed about anything, what the hell it was like stood in front of 200 watt plexis and 4 4x12 cabs. How can you do that night after night?
There's a show. Have you done it?
Not 2. 1 is insane.
Yeah.
2 is like damaging.
Yeah.
Well, 1 is damaging, to be fair. And no, I've never done it. I've never gigged 2 4x12s and a 100-watt head. Never.
A TPS gig where we both have 200-watt stacks. Come on, that would be unreal. Who would go to that? Who would come and see that? If there were 4 Marshalls on stage.
You couldn't
Come
do it.
on, that would be. I'm sure I couldn't, but I'd like to try.
You couldn't do it. Someone's mentioning Lemmy here. I remember going to see TFM Fender is saying, he's talking about Lemmy. So there's a conversation going on about Lemmy. I saw Motorhead a couple of times, and man, yeah, I just like full stacks. Nah. Andrew R says, Mick, Jimmy's answer would be, what? Can't hear you. Yeah, it would be Hendrix. Of course
Very
it would be
good.
Hendrix.
Very
Of course
good.
it would be Hendrix. Josh Freeman's Random Videos says, if you had to grab a guitar for a gig off the Andertons Asian version, Walls, what would you choose? Epiphone or Squier or another? You can't have a PRS SE. Okay, so we can't have Gibson, Fender. That's what you're saying, isn't it? We're having a Far Eastern brand mid-price guitars. That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Low to mid-price guitars. There are so many good guitars now.
Oh yeah, with
like
the technology,
Sire, Larry Carlton things.
unreal. Remember when the vintage,
Yeah.
those guitars were fantastic. There was a 335 type style guitar, far out,
VS 535 was it?
really great.
John Horby Skews and Company, British distribution company that also had many of its own lines. They were responsible for the vintage. They are responsible for the vintage brand. I don't even know where to begin. I don't like when I worked on guitar magazines. I was quite across what was happening in the market. Now I have much less idea. I mean, if you bear in mind that there are a number of large producing guitar factories in the Far East, many of whom are shared by various brands. You know, you're talking about spec, shape. After that, everything's kind of the same, and they do end up feeling very similar, I think, because they're made in the same place, largely out of the same stuff with the same finish. And it gave rise to a very unpleasant term that we used to use on Guitarist magazine, GSO, you know, guitar-shaped objects. And the allure of things like Squier and Epiphone is that they do hark to something original that you can at least get involved in mentally. But if you don't care about any of that stuff, and why should you, if you're a certain age, man, the choice is just, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is incredible.
I've got to, I would say, and this may upset some people, the basic entry level, actually not entry level, like Squier Affinity and the very, very super cheap Squier stuff is good and everything, but they do feel like extreme entry level guitars.
Yeah.
Once you get into Squier Standards, vintage modifieds especially,
Yeah.
classic vibe, I would choose that over an equivalent priced Epiphone, personally speaking.
Right.
I think with Epiphone, you've got to get up a bit more
Right. Yeah.
before they start feeling like really guitars.
I can't get past the headstock.
Just personally speaking,
yeah.
as someone who has the luxury of playing the real thing all the time.
Johnny T says Eastman.
Yeah, Eastman,
Eastman,
100%.
brilliant.
I mean, Eastman for me is a step up from Squier and
Yeah,
Epiphone.
I agree.
That's definitely a premium mid-price brand.
Yep.
So I'd go Squier from the standard brands. What about you?
Yeah. The thing with the Fender design, it doesn't rely on the same things that a Gibson relies on to sound good. And so, you know, the bolt-on neck concept, I just feel it's a little bit more forgiving. And with the quality of CNC machining now, you know, a good Squier is fabulous. Because Dragon says, Alan and I were treated like rock stars and all we really wanted was beer. Because Dragon, you need to expand a bit more on that.
Yeah.
Who are you? And how were you and Alan scouting for beer?
Lots of people mentioning Yamaha. Yeah, how can we forget Yamaha?
Oh,
I don't
man.
really. It's funny, even though Yamaha is a mid-price brand electric-wise, I don't think of it as
No, I agree.
as in that category. I think about Yamaha as its own thing,
Yeah.
high quality. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that the other stuff isn't high quality, but I don't consider Yamaha as a Me Too guitar brand at all.
No, I agree.
Even though the Pacifica is quite Strat-like.
Because Dragon says we were friends. Yeah. Oh, good on you, mate.
Yeah.
There's some footage of Alan playing at a guitar show. I think it's like an old NAMM. And he's playing a carven guitar.
Yep.
He's just pulling this stuff out of the air. Some of the most harmonically beautiful guitar playing I've ever heard. And you get people just walking by, just unaware, but then you pull back a little bit and there's a whole crowd of guitar players staring at him going, what the actual, I mean, just...
My hands off.
Yeah.
What? There's one of his records, Metal something?
Metal Fatigue.
Yeah, I was listening to that the other day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just unreal. Unreal.
oh my, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Utterly phenomenal. And then, per your observation, I was sort of thinking about that graph between, you know, ordinary humans and guitar players, and that crossover point where music is no longer interesting to
Right.
normal humans,
Yeah.
because it's about guitar playing.
Yeah.
You know, somewhat unpleasantly, I could say jazz is music about music, like heavy jazz is music about music, which only musicians like.
I know what you mean.
Or the drop off in normal human interaction, which is why Taylor Swift sells out
Yeah.
1 billion concert tickets, and
If you-
Oasis sell out 1 billion
Yeah,
concert
yeah.
tickets, and bless him, Holdsworth at the end, you know, left without much
Yeah.
materially to show for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
For his genius.
But that's... if you think back to the early days of jazz, when these guys are pioneering, just pushing things rhythmically and harmonically that people had never heard before, and that, it was such an exciting movement.
Yeah.
And then what happened is so much modern jazz became a pastiche of that stuff, and you ended up with... I've actually heard Kenny G play some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff that he released was the stuff that...
But how ironic that that's what sells.
But exactly, that's exactly
the
right.
music is what
The
sells.
music is what got him
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
But he was actually a really, really great sax
Of course
player.
he was. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, right? And I think where jazz, it's sort of, obviously there's always been amazing jazz musicians and they've always been out there pushing it. But you're right, it became exclusive, and as soon as music becomes exclusive, it's a challenge, because artistically, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to people are you only talking to people on a certain
yeah.
level? And then it's like,
And I think that's okay.
it is
You know,
fine,
there's,
but
there's no reason why the artist can't have art that's...
a high art.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
No reason at all. And that exists in all art forms.
Absolutely. I think, but for me, like when I go back and listen to early Coltrane and Miles and stuff, all they were interested in was just taking it as far as it would go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about, of course there was, jazz has rules, harmonically, and they're quite strict. But when you hear those guys and when they're in their flow and it's pure expression, I defy anyone who loves music not to listen to it to go, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because it really...
I agree with you on the pastiche thing. I was listening to someone else who shall remain nameless, and going, oh man, this is amazing. And then about 3 songs in going, this is not amazing.
Yeah.
This is pastiche.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's playing patterns.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then we all have our entry point, don't we?
Yeah.
Back to the curve, we all have our entry point.
It's funny, you know, I was watching a Matt's Go for video last night, and Matt's doing this live stream thing, and he is just killing it. That guy's feel and tone and all that sort of stuff. And when I hear blues played like that, and I've got to say the way that you play, and guys that have got that feel thing, and they just know when to go and put the boot in. It's a really special thing. And then, you know, and you listen to the old school guys who are discovering the electric guitar and what it can do when you crank it, and the dynamics and stuff that it has. And then they were pushing that, right?
Yeah.
And but it's still wonderful to see that there are still people still doing it for real. Still,
Yeah. It's great that it can all exist, isn't it?
Exactly.
And that we don't live in some situation where that's limited or not allowed. You know.
Yeah.
We're very lucky
We are lucky
to be able to access anything we want ish. Anyway, good. Evening, gentlemen, with a challenge idea, says Kristen Abbott. Hello, Kristen, how are you? He says, I've got a challenge idea for you. You both separately choose 1 guitar, 1 amp and 2 pedals. Then you must combine into one rig, playing rock, paper, scissors for final guitar choice. Best song wins. Love it. I'm sure this has been done on The Simpsons a lot, but it should be used to make much more important decisions.
Look, rock, paper, scissors is, it's not a toy.
Yeah.
You take that stuff seriously.
Thank you, Kristen. We will add that to the list of challenges.
Just got a message through from our dear friend Owen Barry.
Oh, hey, how are you, bud?
Owen says, are you guys coming to NAMM? So Owen is releasing some PAF style pickups, which has
wicked.
been very, I know it's been like over the past couple of years, he's been showing me all the stuff that's been going into them, and it's finally come out and they're being released at NAMM. And yes, unfortunately, no, we won't be going to NAMM this year. Maybe next year, but yeah, not for us this year, unfortunately. We're going to be too busy moving things around here.
Yeah, we're having
Lots going on.
a big move around.
Yes.
Chris Costabile. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
He says, I'm sceptical of guys who say, it just spoke to me, it'll be mine forever. Sceptical of guys who say, it just spoke to me, it'll be mine forever, about impromptu guitar store purchases, and wonder how many are sold within a year. You have to live with it to know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I've had guitars that have just spoke to me before, though. Haven't you? Just picked up a guitar and gone, oh, yeah, this is very special.
Yes.
You don't make a decision on...
I think the more guitars you play, you know the ones that definitely won't work, and you know the ones that might. And then the ones that definitely will have a price tag so high that you can't do it.
Yeah.
That has been my experience.
Yeah.
Some vintage guitars are ridiculously overpriced and aren't very good. Some vintage guitars are ridiculously priced for a good reason.
I agree. There was have you seen there's a new podcast that Music Is Win, Tyler from Music Is Win is doing with Jared, fingerpick Les Paul guy.
James Nicholas.
Jared
James Nicholas.
And it's a really great podcast. They had Joe Bonamassa on. And Joe's there with his burst, right? And it's got this sound, he sounds great. He goes, yeah, let's do this. He said there was a there was a guitar that looked similar to his Burst, just a modern Les Paul on the wall. And this is like, this guitar is, you know, $3,000. This guitar is $500,000. And he just did maybe. It was fascinating.
You could hear it.
Even through like a really distorted amplifier, it's like, no way.
Really?
You could, but the thing is, and Joe sort of played it down, is like, he says, yeah, you know, arguably, yes, it sounds better. Is it $500,000 better? But it's like, but exactly. There's one guitar just like was just insanely good. Yeah. But when I found this guitar, I couldn't afford it really. So imagine that I was at a guitar center and I walked in and I picked this off the shelf. I would have just fallen madly in love with it. And because the minute I played this guitar, it's like, I have to find out a way that I can have this guitar, because this will be the guitar that I have forever. Now, I did a deal with the gentleman who sold me this guitar, and he allowed me to pay it off over a number of months. And now I am its current custodian, and I absolutely adore it. And the same with my 65 Tele that I used in the what was it? Money No Object challenge. You know, such a killer guitar. Where is it? Anyway. And so there are guitars that you pick up and they do speak to you. They say, "Put me down." No, they But we've all picked up guitars that have just felt right. And I think what's really interesting, everyone's got different shaped hands. I think the necks on a lot of these old guitars are so unique because they're all done by hand. And so every now and then you pick up a guitar that just goes, and just fits just perfectly.
I did it with. So how quick is the you pick it up and you go, yeah, this is amazing? How quick?
30 seconds.
Took me 10 minutes with this. Took me 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
I would say, because it was out of tune. It was kind of not really.
Yeah. Okay.
It just wasn't really. There was no connection.
Yeah.
And then as it sort of came to life and it was in tune and all of that.
Yeah.
As I walked out of there, bearing in mind it was Thorpe's guitar.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yep.
That guitar.
Yeah. And if a guitar hasn't been picked up and played for a while, it might take a couple of minutes. I told the story before about when I was at the Problem Ford and he bought that 52 gold top. And there was two 52s and a 52 conversion to 59 spec. And there was one guitar which was my least favourite. And it was like still in the case from 1952. It was just brand new. It looked like it had never been played. I'm sure the original strings were still on it. And I had no connection with that guitar at all. And the other two I just thought were fabulous. They'd been beaten up, played loads over the 70 years. Robin picked up the basically new guitar and he played it for half an hour. And in that half an hour, that guitar opened up and turned into something magical. And then Robin goes, "Yeah, I'll have this one." He just knew. But yeah.
Chris Quinn says, "I'm pretty convinced that truly falling in love with a guitar takes time and relationship building. The instant appeal thing is often just guitar lust, which is different but more common." Yeah, it's
That's good.
hard to argue with that, isn't it? Hard to argue with that. And you do, we've talked about this before. So many great players while they might not play the same guitar for their whole playing life, they
Yeah.
tend to play a similar one for quite some time.
Yep.
You know, the guitar that they are associated with and make music with tends to be a thing for a moment, you know, and sometimes a long moment. I don't know. I equally think the more you're attached to the guitar, Friday's video proved this beyond reasonable doubt. The more you're attached in your head to the equipment, the less bloody productive you are in making music.
Oh man, absolutely.
We proved it on Friday.
Yeah. Because your expectations are different.
Yeah, and it's all too serious.
Yeah, completely.
On Friday's show, there was nothing riding on it. It didn't matter. We were free to make, you know,
Just have some fun.
music-shaped sound.
Yeah, yeah. That's very good. That's very good. Yeah.
MSS.
Yeah.
Anyway, God, let's move on. Thanks, Chris,
Thanks,
for
Chris.
the question. David Tompkins. Hey, David.
Hey, David.
If you had understood the Floyd Rose as a youth, would your guitar journey have been different, or would you have ended up with classic Strats anyway? I guess that's a question for me. Thanks, David. Don't know. I think the way I put, just speaking purely personally, the way I played wasn't possible with a Floyd Rose.
Right.
It was very visceral, heavy-handed, big string bends, string on string bends, all that stuff that you just can't do with a Floyd.
The way I played was only possible with a Floyd Rose.
Because, you know, it's too lightly set up, and maybe with a downbend Floyd only in the Van Halen early tradition, that might have worked.
Funny, because I like the sound of Floyd Roses. I think set up properly, I think they sound really good.
Yeah, we've learned enough now, haven't we, to learn that once you start breaking it out into its component parts,
Yeah.
you can do anything.
Yeah.
And it's actually not, you know, did I play the sound I played when I was 16 years old because it was the best guitar sound ever? No. It's the one I had.
Yep, that's right.
And it's the one that became familiar over enough gigs to feel confident enough and free to play. So if you then introduce something alien to that environment, you're not free to play anymore, and you're like, I don't want this. And that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
And that would have been, you know, you could flip that on its head, and someone who is used to a Floyd Rose or something else, and you give them a, you know, week old Japanese Strat, and they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know, this doesn't work. And so it's just familiarity, isn't it?
But that's the way I got there as well. Because, you know, I was all about all this silliness. And I'm at a gig, because eventually I wound up with a Strat. I've been playing Strats for ages. You know, I went from the Gem to a more traditional thing. I found this old Strat Plus that just sounded fabulous, and I thought, okay, you know, this will do. But when I bought a 64 L series Strat that was stolen, and then I had to gig that night and I borrowed a friend's telly, and I just sounded like arse on it because I had no vibrato.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is my new challenge. I need to work out how to sound good on such a simple guitar, because I hadn't fully realised, but I was on the trem all the time. It was crazy. I go back and watch videos of like Jeff Beck, and what he does with a trem, it was all music. Everything that he did here, there was a reason for it. It wasn't just where his hand rested and he'd hit a note and just do this, which is what I was doing.
Yeah. So I don't know, David. I don't know what the answer is. I guess we just gravitate towards the things that inhibit us least.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way I could say it.
Or inspire you for a new part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't interested in inspiration as a teenager. I was interested in playing the guitar really loud and getting drunk and meeting girls.
Yeah, but that's a new journey. That was a new journey for you.
Yeah, but
Well,
it
this
wasn't
is-
about, is my tone great? Was it? That
Is
really was
my tone good enough to get me drunk?
sort of secondary
There you go.
consideration, really. Plus, I've spent all this money. This has to work. Chris again. Chris Costabile. Leg ends. I have a basic 2011 Gibson SG. I've considered upgrading to a custom shop. In a colour I like better, but mine has a unicorn wraparound bridge that stays intonated. Would you
Why sell
upgrade?
it? Why, if it's working for you, what's the reason?
He says he likes the colour better,
Well, that's a good reason.
and it's a custom shop. You're going to have to play it, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know what? Jake at work's got a standard SG, and it's, man, what a killer guitar. There's something about the SGs are pretty consistent nowadays.
I've played a lot of. Try not to make it so that it sounds disparaging. Bog standard Gibson USA SGs that have been fantastic,
Right. Yeah. Completely.
particularly juniors and
Yeah.
some of the specials as well, and also some custom shops that have been over heavy
Right.
and just not with the vibe of the guitar. Unfortunately, I've played more custom shops that are fantastic.
The Gibson custom shops are brilliant.
They
They
can
just-
be. They can be.
Have you played a bad one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah,
played
yeah,
a bad one.
Well, I say
haven't
bad,
played a-
just unappealing to me personally.
Yeah, sure.
Some of that might be down to setup. I've played some surprisingly heavy SGs.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, that you bear no resemblance to this whatsoever. So, oh Rosie, what on earth is going on with you? It's because the bloody Labrador is barking.
Oh, really?
That's what it is. Those of you who
But that Labrador's been barking for 5 years.
had the it's a different Labrador now, but it's still barking. Rosie, come on. No barky barky, please. I know, it's been barking all day. It's driving you nuts. It's got a problem. So should you do it? Chris, before you do it, just play the guitar and you'll know. Try and play the guitar if you can. Appreciate that's always hard. Woof woof. Rosie said it's really hard, mate. Yeah. For the wraparound bridge that stays intonated, it's good that you found one, but they do exist. They do exist.
Yeah.
Especially in modern times, when Gibson puts the bridge and the neck in the right place.
Yeah. Well, my old Genius wraparound.
Yeah, that doesn't really, does it?
And it's,
It's
man.
Anyway, let's move along. Brian Carpenter wants to know, Dan, any love for New Zealand pedal brand Redwitch? I'm eyeing a phaser of theirs that can adjust the frequency where the throb happens. It looks like cool stuff.
Redwitch are brilliant. Brilliant. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time. And they've been around for a long time. They were there like in the early days of Gig Rig. Redwitch had, was it the Moon Phaser? But I played, I think, 3 of their pedals and they were all consistently brilliant. Yeah, very, very, very good. The
phaser is particularly well regarded as well, isn't it?
Particularly well regarded, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
It's a yes from us.
Yep.
It's a yes from us. Daniel Thornton. Daniel, before we read this out, thank you for your incredible generosity, and I think it comes with a large tip of the hat to Bob Weir, as we know that it does. R.I.P. Bob Weir, says Daniel
Yes,
Thornton. Mate. I know the appeal of Grateful Dead is a bit of a mystery in TPS land, but they were serious music and tone innovators. Their work in the early 70s with Alembic and Mesa is still influential today. Heck, the Dead invented the line array. I didn't know that.
They had what they call it, the wall of sound. That absolutely outrageous PA that they designed, which was like something like 100,000 valve watts, and I think it only got used once.
Oh wow!
And there was a tech that had worked on it, and he nearly died, and he quit. He said never. I think he stopped working on music gear because it was so terrifying. Imagine all of that crazy current, just and there are pictures of it. They just weren't afraid to go anywhere, you know. And the deadheads that would just follow them around America.
Didn't they used to give LSD out to the front row and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I get,
I'm sure I've watched a documentary where they talk about that.
But they were so well regarded. You know, it was your mate,
John Mayer.
John Mayer, that would.
John Mayer isn't my mate, by the way.
They love each other.
No, I'd love to have John Mayer as a mate, but I'm just saying he's not my mate.
But yeah, he played with the Dead.
Dead and Company.
Dead and Company. He what's his name? What's that? There's an amazing keyboard player.
Rick Wakeman.
No.
Derek Sherinian.
No, it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, all these astounding musicians who just, loved playing with, because they jam
Greg Fillinganes.
and improvise. I don't think Greg's not the one I was thinking of.
I'm just trying to think of any
okay.
keyboard player that I've ever heard of.
Okay, yeah, not Greg. It'll come to me, but they were so well regarded, and Bob was playing like all the time.
Bruce Hornsby.
Bruce Hornsby.
Thanks, Chris Quinn.
Yeah, and I think where Bruce is an amazing musician, full stop. But you listen to that solo he plays on. That's just the way it is.
Some things will never change.
Some things will never change, and that
Sad
fluidity of those beautiful melodies and stuff. It's like when you're given freedom in a playing with the Grateful Dead to play a solo for an hour. And so what happens is, first 5 minutes, all your licks are gone. Everything that you've relied heavily is gone. And then you're just there in the moment and you've just got to play instinctively. And you do that for a couple of years, you're going to come out of that shit hot.
Yeah, pretty good. I can't have a pee for an hour, though. I'd have to go to the bar or something. A keyboard solo for an hour. I mean, a guitar solo for an hour would be bad. A keyboard solo for an hour. I mean, I could probably do an hour drum solo.
Well,
bass solo, I'd be off the top of the
solo.
stadium. That'd be that.
Big
Goodbye,
trouble.
cruel world.
Where's the nearest ocean?
Yeah.
I'm walking into the sea.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
funny.
sorry, we don't mean to besmirch the memory of Bob Weir. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your thoughts and your kind thoughts. And I rather suspect a great deal of Bob's contribution to music will be enjoyed in the coming days.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Iono Bella said the Wall of Sound was toured, but they needed two of them because they took so long to put up and take down. Practicality killed it. There you go.
Barefootery says apparently the Dead, their roadies, hated that Wall of Sound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But just the vision and the balls to do it, just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Dobbs. Hello,
Hi,
Adam. My 2003 Strat feels a little choked and has a thick poly finish. I'm thinking about stripping it and spraying it nitro. I don't mind experimenting. Do you have experience whether it will make a difference? I'm a furniture maker and have the equipment.
So I did that to my Strat Plus, and it was a mistake.
Did you refinish it?
Yeah, I did the
Oh, wow.
whole thing in nitro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it just was a mistake. It didn't. That guitar was a fantastic guitar, just the way it was. And I remember the neck used to be fast, and there were things that I could play on it that I couldn't play once I'd stripped it and put nitro on it. There's something about the really, well, I don't know how thick it was, but the poly that was on it was so hard that, certainly for the gigs I was doing there, it added sibilance to it that
Really?
disappeared as soon as I put the nitro on.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and
The
there was the body was the
How many
wood was
bits was it?
crap, probably 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's
all on an angle.
one of the things that started happening, and I don't know when it started happening. Under the American standards, you might find, I had heard 9, but certainly 7 pieces of wood, regardless of any tonal conversation.
I think this had 3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
That's much more common.
Yeah.
But I think they started using more pieces in the spreads depending on which particular type of Strat it was. So the reason I mention that is if you're thinking of a translucent finish, for example, that might look a bit odd. Yeah, well, Dan has actually done it, and he said it was a bad idea.
It was a bad idea because of the way the music I was playing at the time, and I had thought that it would release some sort of magic tone, and it didn't. Mix 69 70 has had that done to it though, and that guitar is an absolute killer. The neck's still poly though, right? The neck's still all original, but the body's been done in nitro.
Yeah, so 68, I think it was, they changed to 67, 68, I think they changed to polyester top finish for the guitars, and as point of interest, the back is polyester, right? And this particular polyester goes off lovely and hard, and it just feels great, no sweat.
Killer
If you look at the
guitar.
difference in colour, right, between the back of the neck and the headstock,
Yeah.
that's because they continue to finish the front of the headstock in nitrocellulose, because when they started with the poly, it was eating the logos apparently.
Oh, really?
So I've heard it said. I don't know it to be true. I've heard it to be said. So yeah. So the neck on this one is still poly. This was Ainsley Lister's guitar. He had the body refinished in gold nitro, and it's a great guitar. But it's a great guitar.
It is a great guitar.
I don't think it would matter too much what finish was on this. The reason they changed the finish is because it had like 7 paints of coat on it, and I want to say 0.7 pounds.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There's a bag of chips,
Half a
right?
pound,
Yeah, it's the same.
0.6 pounds, 0.7 pounds. Can't remember the exact figure. A lot of weight came off. This one is actually lighter, even though it's a 1970. It's lighter than my 61.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's just a.
It's such a vibey
It's
guitar.
insane. See, if I had a lot of money and I was a bit more of an idiot, I would find 2 guitars just like that. I would keep one and I would mod the other one for a Super Strat, because I love the big headstock for Widdly Widdly. I just think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, they got stupid expensive now.
Yeah.
Anything sort of 68, 69, expensive.
Yeah,
70,
right.
71, quite expensive. 72 through 76, just far more expensive than they should be.
Yeah, right. But that's a 4-bolt neck. The pickups that were in them then as well were just magic.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a mid-60 Strat with
There
a
you go.
headstock.
Yeah. Just the coolest thing ever.
I was thinking about putting it back into standard, actually, and just using it as a normal Strat instead of, because it gets used as the E-flat Strat at the moment. But it's so Stratty sounding. It's much more Stratty sounding than the 61.
Yes, I think it's astonishing.
It is an amazing guitar.
Yeah.
It is an amazing guitar. Good. Right. How do we do that? Yeah. So I don't know. The thing is, right, to finish that off, you say that you're a woodworker. You can do all the stuff yourself. If you don't care too much for the guitar, you know, if you're not like, I'm so wedded to this guitar and
Yeah.
I love it, which it sounds like you're not. And I don't know how much guitar like that's worth now. Maybe that's not really a factor for you. Then do it, Adam. I mean, as an experiment, do it. If you're not like, if the guitar doesn't owe you any money and you don't really mind about the outcome, what harm can come of doing it?
Yeah. All I'm saying is the outcome is not a foregone conclusion. Just taking the poly off it and redoing it nitro may not give you the outcome that you want. Just be aware of that going in. But give it a go. It may be incredible.
Andrew R says 7 paints of coat. I think Mick may have misspoken. Yes, I meant coats of paint. Interestingly enough, Chris Quinn says, I just refinished my Strat in nitro and it weighed less when I was done. Yeah, well, there we are. Good. How are we doing? Okay. Might need to just speed up a little bit so we can get all these
Okay.
last questions in.
All right,
Sorry,
all right.
Largely my fault.
Quick fire round.
Seventh World says, yay! First time attending live in the new year. I love Friday's video. Both of your songs were amazing.
Oh, thank you,
What
mate.
about a TPS band reunion sometime in 2026? Never say never. Would be nice to do, wouldn't it?
Would love to do it. That would be really
Would
fun.
be nice to do it. Lee Brimble, how are you, Lee?
Hey,
Nice
Lee.
to hear from you, buddy. He says, why does it feel so different playing with my band and playing on my own at home? The feel and process feels like a job when with the band and rigid.
Oh, that's interesting. Because when you're with the band, there are so many moving parts that you have no control over. You can't control the drummer's time or how loud he plays. You can't control the clangor that the keyboard player just dropped in the middle of your solo. You can't control the bass player turning up to the gig with the wrong guitar. You know, there's so many elements that when you're playing by yourself that you've got, you know, backing tracks or whatever, and you can just be in the moment. But when you're with the band and when you're with people, other magic happens when everyone's listening and everyone's playing off each other. There are things that happen that can't happen when you're playing on your own. And that's why we persevere with the keyboard clangor
Yeah.
and the bass misnomer.
I think there's probably a case to be argued for familiarity. So you spend more hours playing at home and practicing the stuff. And then when you get with the band, maybe your situation is differently, but I think a lot of people will relate to the fact that the rehearsal time is fairly limited, gigging time is fairly limited, so it always feels alien. And it feels alien in so many respects, not just orally, but physically. Everything is different.
Yeah.
So it could just be a case of unfamiliarity, and the more you do it, the more you'll click with it. But we know exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely. 100%. No
Yeah.
question.
And then, yeah, I guess just try and do more of it if you can, if they're up for it. Some people really hate rehearsing. Some people really love it. I really love it.
I love it. It's my favourite. I prefer it to the gigs.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I do enjoy it because it gives you a chance to really work. And then it's about interpersonal relationships. You know, is everyone free enough to say what they think? Will everyone shut up long enough so that someone can say what they think? And will that be taken on and heard? Or is it just this kind of, you know, I've definitely been in bands where it's just like this ego thing where no one really wants to say anything and no one's really communicating because everyone's too scared to say anything. And then that is all part of that. And I don't necessarily know how you break that other than just doing it as often as possible and really getting to know the people in the band. But it's hard, man, isn't it? Bands, dynamic.
personalities.
Band dynamics is hard. I maintain that behind their brilliance, amazing songwriting skills, etc., the reason that the successful bands have remained successful so long is because they can get on. Not that they always do get on.
No, they've found a way to live with each other.
To be, yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yep. Yep. Anyway, sorry, that was probably a bit deep, Lee. We get it, mate. We totally get it. The other thing might be as prosaic as when you are playing on your own, you might not be playing to a metronome. You might be able to just hear yourself a bit better.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
true.
you get into the melee of the band, all of a sudden maybe the tempos aren't quite the same, or you've got to stick, you've got to be in the pocket, and actually you can't hear yourself that well. Could be as prosaic as that. But we get it.
Totally get it.
We get it. Scent of a wheelchair pillow. Scent of a wheelchair pillow says, just got our plane tickets for the Experience Day this summer.
Awesome.
Looking forward to welcoming you. So looking forward to it. Any suggestions on the things my wife can do in Frome while I'm there? Any great lunch spots or local attractions? We'll email you. I would say take a trip to Bath. Frome is okay.
Frome's nice, but
Bath is where you want to go.
Stunning.
And it's a train ride away.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to do in Bath.
Yeah.
And Frome is okay, but there's a lot to do in Bath. Anyway,
Whenever my
we'll email
Australian friends and family turned up, I'd take them straight to Bath, and we go and see the Roman baths. And they're like, it's as an Australian,
Yeah.
it's like
I can't even imagine.
just honestly,
Yeah.
just crazy.
You mean there were actual Romans? Is that what they said?
Yeah. What you mean? This is real? Like there was a massive
Well,
thing,
like in the 1800s or something.
but stuff that predates Christianity and all. It's like, and you're seeing all the Roman gods and pagan stuff, and how it all, because this is in Britain, and how all of these things had come together with a lot of the iconography and stuff, and the witch curses written down on sheets of lead and thrown into the baths.
Wow.
Oh, there are hundreds of them.
That's amazing.
It's like, someone sold me a lame horse. I cursed. It was just, yeah. It's really, really fascinating.
That is fascinating. Bath is particularly interesting because it's on multiple layers as different.
The different periods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the problem with history though, don't you?
It's one thing after another. Yes!
It's just one thing after another. It's a quote attributed to Winston Churchill, but I rather suspect it goes before that.
It's very good.
Probably Mark Twain, wouldn't it? Most of the quotes come from him. Anyway, whatever. Simon V. RDJ. Simon V. RDJ has the most important question all evening.
Are we doing Stonehenge?
The second most important question all evening. No, we're not doing Stonehenge. What's your lightsaber colour?
Oh. I want to say... Oh, that's a great question. I want to say blue.
Blue. 3-colour sunburst.
Oh, you win. That is brilliant.
I am your nitro finish.
That's great. That's really good.
And then you can imagine Darth opposite you going,
I think the red is wrong in that
It still hasn't got the handle right.
that's not a 64 sunburst at all.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, I'm not your father. Just a very
Just
naughty
a very
boy.
naughty boy.
J2072 says Spats. Hi from West Cork. Oh, I've had such a great time in West Cork.
Is that Ireland? I've had a wonderful time in Ireland. I can't remember a lot of it.
Yeah. My heart beats with single coils. Well, SCs. So I got TV Jones Diners now in my 5655 CB Junior. Wow. So I think we're saying we got Dynasonic pickups in a Gretsch. Same as when I swapped gold lace sensors for Sonic 60s from the Creamery. How about a show on Trisonics? Now that is a great shout.
Ooh.
Burns pickups, right? Is that what they are, Trisonics? What
yeah.
Brian May has in his guitars? Anyway, you'll be able to tell us whether they were original. Yeah, Burns. They were Burns.
So,
All right. Yes, let's do it.
so Brian took Burns pickups out of somewhere and put them in that guitar. Is that right? I thought he made them with his dad, but he might have because they look like those are the pickups.
How did I work on a guitar magazine for nearly 20 years and not know this? They started homemade Eclipse magnet pickups with the red special, which used alternating poles but failed with string bends, leading to modifications and eventually the adoption of Burns Trisonic pickups.
Oh, okay.
So don't blame me, the internet said it. Yes, we will totally do that. So let's do Trisonics and lipsticks.
Oh, come on.
Love it.
Perfect.
Love it. Thank you, Jay.
That's
2072.
a great suggestion.
Because as you well know, our hearts beat with single coils as well.
Come on, baby.
Trevor Johnson. Hello, Trevor. He says, should I get a Seriatone OTS 50 or a Victory MKX to pair with my Tone King Imperial Mark II for retro? What would be your preferred speaker pairing in either instance? I haven't played either, but we are going to get an MKX.
Is this the new two-channel one? That looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Right. Oh God, his name's gone.
Martin Kidd?
Martin Kidd is like a. There's a Cornford thing that he's. I don't know if he's just more comfortable leaning into that now, but I'm hearing a bit more of that in his amps, and apparently this is the Mark II. Has got more Cornford in than any other Victory, and you hear the demo of it. It sounds just wonderful.
Okay.
He knows game.
Yeah. So I'm just reading the spec on the OTS 50, Trevor. Sorry, I don't have any significant experience of Seriatone amps, but I do have a lot of experience of Victory amps. Seriatone Cariatone, sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Serotonin.
Are saying that the OTS 50 is their version of one of the most famous and most expensive amplifiers of all time, so we can assume that to be a Dumble. Generally speaking, the Dumble overdrive sound is quite removed from the Martin Kidd overdrive sound. So I'm just going to talk in broad brushstrokes, right? What would we associate with the Dumble overdrive special, overdrive sound, thicker mid-range, smoother response, very, very prominent vocal quality that you can associate with those players that you know that have used that sound. Robin, Larry, Eric Johnson, David Linley. Keep them going.
David Linley, flipping heck.
Christopher Crossan, his guitar player, and all the other people who famously used Dumbles, loads of people, right? It's a very specific kind of sound. Martin's overdrive sound, Martin Kidd's overdrive sound, is like a beautifully well-refined modded Marshall with aggression and punch. It's quite a different thing. So you can decide whether you are going after that more Dumbley sound or you're going after more of that modded British sound. And they're two quite different things. I don't think there's any better example. I am just going to check that he definitely did, but I'm pretty sure he did. Of Martin's, actually there's two, but there's one that I'm going to pick above the other. I don't think there's any better demonstration of some of Martin's gain tones than on Guthrie's Erotic Cakes record.
Yeah.
Guthrie Govan, Erotic Cakes. It's just, it's a masterpiece of playing across the board. It's an utterly astonishing record to this day. Just immense guitar sound.
Oh. Yeah.
Now that's a Cornford, right? But as Dan alluded earlier, I think a lot of Martin Kidd's voicing, love of overdrive sounds, that sort of lineage of modded Marshall tones. Not that it is a modded Marshall, but you know, that lineage
But you can say
comes through in his most recent overdrive designs.
yeah, definitely. There's something that's inherently British, and I say this as someone who isn't British, but growing up listening to the difference between British and American guitar sounds and going, you can always tell the British thing, and Martin's got that in his soul.
I agree.
You know? Yeah.
I agree. So if that helps, it may or it may not. I'm really looking forward to hearing the MKH. When we had Martin and Lee Adderton came in and we had the MK series custom shop amps from Victory, you know, we were all expecting to be blown away by the clean one, and we were. But I think both me and Dan were more blown away by the overdrive one, because we were expecting the clean thing to be amazing. We're well used to all that kind of thing. The overdrive sound coming out of that amp was fantastic.
Unreal.
The MK overdrive. And I think what they've done in the MKX, please correct me if I'm wrong, is bring some of that lineage to that amp.
Yeah.
I think that's what they've done.
Yeah. Trevor Johnson says, I didn't know Roddick Cakes was done with the Victory. No, not Victory, Cornford.
Cornford. Same designer.
Same
So
that's
Martin
right.
designed the Cornford amps, and some of that DNA from those overdrive sounds is what you'll hear in the higher gain Victory amps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How are we tracking?
We're doing well. Two questions left, which I will just check before we go. But penultimately, the landing stage, Dugout Twang Bang Kerrang! BBC documentary. For the chat in last week's comms, noticed the Seymour Duncan 8440 amp, my first proper amp. Does anyone remember them or
Yes.
can nominate amps by other manufacturers that didn't catch on?
I thought the Seymour Duncan was a fantastic amp.
Yeah, convertible.
The
series,
convertible.
they were called.
Jeff Beck played them for a while.
Every now and again, you can pick them up for like crazy cheap money. If I guess probably would require some work. If you've never seen that documentary that was run, I think you're saying it was Channel. Are you saying it was Channel 4? No, BBC. Yeah, I've got to say, I think it was an Equinox, maybe. Could have been Arena. Might have been Equinox. It was called Twang Bang Kerrang! And it was the most nerdiest guitar thing the BBC have ever done that I can remember, that wasn't just reduced to platitudes and things that normal humans will understand. So normally when you do anything, I've done a couple of things for telly in the past, and any of the detail just gets knocked out of it, and it just becomes the narrative for a mass audience, and anything that's interesting gets taken away. They managed to not do that with Twang Bang Kerrang! And there's Andy Summers going through his utterly crazy rack.
Right, with a guitar synth?
No,
No, just the guitar.
just the
okay.
guitar.
Right.
But he's pressing all the buttons and calling up the sounds
Right.
and all of that. And what I remember, he had these really weird shoes on that had like a real sawtooth sole, because obviously they cut to his feet as he's stepping on it. And then they had Dave from Acton, and then they had it was great. Francis Dunnery with his Squire playing amazing stuff. They had historic footage of the Burns, I think it was Burns or Baldwin Guitar Factory. You know, look at these people about to get their new electronical guitar to go out and play rock and roll music.
Maybe they should spend it on their haircuts.
That's
Yeah.
the exact quote.
Yep.
Yep. And loads of others. So please watch it. Anyway, what was the question?
Yeah, that's right. You wouldn't believe the work that goes into these things, considering the noise they make.
That's the exact quote.
That's right.
And Seymour Duncan amps featured in it quite extensively. So one with Jerry Donahue, where he plays the seminal version of the Beak the Claw, whatever it's called, and it is the version. And I can remember watching that, going, "Oh, that's guitar then." Seymour Duncan's on, showing all those licks that we play on the show sometimes. Jerry Reed, although I think he's got a Fender Tweed. And yeah, the amps feature in it. Other amps that didn't catch on. Kitty Hawk, anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Son of Boogie. Peterson, I'm sorry to say. There have been quite a few down the years.
What was the amp? We had one here for a while after we went to Wales.
Oh, it's still out there, and we need to do that show.
Yeah, because that thing is insane. Bacharach.
Baldwin
Baldwin's
Burns.
baby. Beautiful beluga,
I can see it. Starts with a B.
bombastic.
Equinox
Barbiturates.
1987, Channel 4, says Johnny T. The Unit 4+2 group mic, yes. Baldrick, says Moon. Come on.
Yeah.
It's Berman, thank you,
Berman, there we go.
Jim Barber.
That was what I was going to say next.
Yeah, the Berman. We will do that.
Someone's asking, do I still play the Hampstead Artist? I played it in December. It's an amazing amplifier.
Yeah. Yeah, loads. And last question tonight was from Todd Weiss, but we don't have a question, Todd, so I don't know if that's just a donation or what, but thank you. I'll just check that BV hasn't sent me anything. BV has confirmed that the broadcast was an old RCA broadcast console. Thank you, BV. You are, as always, a crispy pigeon. It's an old gag from Train Guy. A font of knowledge. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Good. All right. I think that's us. Todd, sorry there was no question from you. I'm just going to double check that they are indeed to Les Super Chai. No, Simpwood. Simpwood says, greetings from Germany. And thank you, Simpwood, for your generosity. What is the 2 rock below the dB meter, and why does it never get used? All right, it is Joey Landreth's personal Joey Landreth signature 2 rock. It lives here. Joey uses it when he comes on tour. It never gets used because we have been trying in recent times to use amps that are more accessible to people. Now, I appreciate that doesn't always happen. You'll quite often see my 2 rock, you'll see Dan's Matchless, you'll see all kinds of crazy things. So I think sometimes some of the more esoteric stuff can get booted out by PRS HDRX20, Deluxe Reverb, 50 watt Marshalls, you know, because we do get a bit of stick sometimes when we use stuff that you can't buy. However, we are going to use it because it is utterly fantastic. It has 2 separate tremolo controls, 1 harmonic sections and 1 standard amplitude, and reverb. It's got tons of tubes in it. It sounds insanely good, so we will use it. Insanely good. Bless you, Joey. Brothers Landreth got a new record out, by the way. Came out a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. Have a listen to it.
Man.
Very contemplative.
So prolific.
And very much a reflection of where Dave and Joey are in their lives. It's very nice. Brothers Landreth, latest record. Please go and listen to it. Good. All right. That's what it is, Simpwood. Thank you for asking. We'll see you on Friday for either a show on the pedals that we did today or a baritone guitar show.
Awesome.
Whichever I can get edited first. As a sneak peek, Josh from West Valley brought this in.
Oh my word.
We've got the Carl Longbottom, which is out there. We've got a the Novo, which you've already seen, and I've got a surprise one for Dan, which will be available much more affordably.
Look at that thing.
Nice. Little bit of tic-tac-toe.
Oh, very good.
We'll consider that the play out.
There we
See you
go.
Friday, people.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Oh, man, why do I play?